everybody. Welcome back to Rambling RunOff. I am your host, Robert Rios. And what an exciting sports day we've had this week. And of course, we've got it all for you today. And I hope you guys are sitting down, laying down, chillaxing, driving around in your whip, having a great day because, yeah, man, I'm just excited to go over what we got. We got some U.S. men's national team news. We got some college football stuff. We got something cooking in the warm-up. And, of course, we have to round down all the way at the end of the episode. But, of course, I am not doing this by myself. With me, once again, we had very good reviews from her debut on her very first podcast. Now, this is her second podcast. Please welcome back Alondra Abundez. Say what's up to the people.
Hi, what's up, you guys? I'm surprised he has me back so soon. Because as you realized from the previous episode, my sport knowledge is not the greatest. But we're here. We're going to ramble and we're going to have a good time.
No, yeah, of course. What works is that you're learning, but also you're giving your opinion, which works in a surprising way. You feel me?
Yeah, I think what truly happened is I kind of got obsessed with the World Cup in 2010. So I got obsessed over just one sport, and that's pretty much where my knowledge lies. Just because I think some of the players are cute, honestly. But we're here to learn about other sports. It's going to work out. We're going to have a good time. We're going to party. We're going to celebrate an amazing win. And you're going to teach me some new stuff. So it's going to work out.
No, yes, of course. Like, I guess you kind of already mentioned it. The U.S. men's national team, they're on a tear right now. It's all good in the hood. But yeah, I think we should be in store for a lot of good stuff to talk about today. I'm in a really good mood. I know you're in an excellent mood.
I really am.
I mean, these games have been happening very early in the morning, so I am very tired.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you.
Oh, yeah. See,
but before we get this thing going, wait, what happened? What you got?
See, I was kind of glad the U.S. games were like at 11, but Saturday we have a 7:30 game, and I don't know how I feel about that right now.
It's actually at 7 on the dot, to my knowledge.
Oh no! Even earlier? Oh, the struggle's gonna be
real.
Yes,
30 minutes. It is going to be real.
But we gotta watch it. Yeah,
yes, of course. But yes, before we get into all that, I usually like to ask my co-hosts all the time, how have you been? What you been up to?
I've been good. The majority of my day has been spent watching the World Cup. It's not that I love it, but like getting behind on schoolwork, which is always stressful. But like do I read a textbook or do I watch a World Cup game? Like do you feel me? Like you kind of
Girl,
choose watching
you
the
better
World
be
Cup
trying to get
game.
that degree. You better be trying to get that degree.
I'm getting that degree, but like she's like writing an essay while watching the game, multitasking. But like it's like 2 sentences every like 15 minutes.
That is not good, but I know you're working on it, and the World Cup is, I guess to say, almost over now, even though it's only been like 2 weeks, which has just flown by magically.
That's insane.
I know, right? It's only a month. Now imagine it in 2026 when there's like double the teams.
Oh, that's gonna be like no sleep. For sure. No sleep. Especially since the US is hosting. Like it's gonna be party in every city at that point.
Yeah, but the games are gonna be in the daytime, so it ain't gonna be that bad.
But like if your team wins and you party into the night and then you wake up early to watch another game, it becomes a cycle of just party and no sleep.
That is also true.
Yeah.
but I like sleep, so I might have to skip the partying.
You take a nap during halftime. That's what happens.
A
So like
15-minute nap. Now you're tripping.
power nap. Or like in between games, they usually give like an hour break. Take a nap then, take a nap during halftime, and you're
That
good to go.
that is also true. That's true. All right. Well, when the time comes, we'll see if we're napping in 2026.
Who knows? Okay,
But yes, of course. Um, are you ready to get this show on the road or what?
let's do it.
All right. So, of course, we've already kind of mentioned it. Our first topic for the show is the U.S. men's national team moving on to the round of 16 in the FIFA World Cup. Alondra, first
Woo!
though, we have to first we have to explain how they kind of got here because although we're recording this week and we recorded last week, we didn't get to kind of go over the game that happened before this game. Uh, the U.S. did play England on what was it, Monday, correct?
No, it was Black Friday.
Monday. Oh, excuse me, I'm thinking of the Wales game. Yeah, Black Friday. Um, they played them at 11 a.m. A very, how would you say, looked forward game to like for people. It was marked on everyone's calendars basically.
It was a
USA versus
historic
England.
game.
Yeah, because you don't always get to see them play. You get to see a young up and coming US team versus an established uh known powerhouse. So
Established, yes, but they also had a bunch of young players in their team in their lineup as well.
no, yes, of
So
course. I just mean
yeah,
by name. When
by
you say
name,
England, you're like, oh yeah, England. They're good at soccer. They're good at football.
established.
USA on the come up. Yeah, established football country,
Hmm.
unlike the US, who's still on the come up. But although the game did end as a tie, it was 0-0. I felt like the US had the better chances throughout the game. Uh, they did start out very, very slow. England had the ball for like at least 15 to 20 minutes in that first half, where it was like, oh no, here they come. But no, they were unsuccessful in any of their tries and their chances to score. The only stat that we can give you that I guess has importance, in my opinion, would be shots taken. England had 8, 3 on goal. USA had 10 with 1 on goal, which I believe was the Pulisic shot that came off the bar.
Yes, the crossbar. Yes.
I mean, it came out of nowhere. Like that shot just came out of nowhere. It was he made something out of nothing.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, what did you think about the game very quickly?
See, right now that you made the comment about how England was like had possession of the game for like the first 20 minutes, I was like, it kind of reminded me back of like the revolution type of situation of the British in control, yet the Americans are over here like stalking the prey. So once they saw their weaknesses, they attacked. Yes, we had the more opportunities to attack, but we were the stronger team. And I was kind of a proud American after watching all these English commentators being like, the US deserved that. The US should have won. The US had more opportunities. Like, yes, they're over here calling it soccer, but they have some of the best talent on their team type of situation.
Yeah, that was very interesting. I also got to see some of the British tabloids yawn in the USA
Mm-hmm.
or I couldn't think dang it, I should have wrote this down somewhere, screenshot it, but yeah, there was a lot of tabloids that were just going in like, man, these guys suck. Like
It
they're not that good. Like I highly doubt it though. I think the US was giving it to them. It did kind of make the Wales draw sour a little bit more considering we held our own against a known football European powerhouse, which who
mm-hmm.
could have taken advantage of us and did a 6-2 shellacking on Iran. So
Yes.
I mean, it is what it is. I feel like the team played well. Even when England subbed in Jack Grealish in like the 68th minute, he tried to give him a spark, but nothing came of it. I think he got a free kick, but there was nothing scary about this team. Like, they have good players, but they're not very concise. Same thing with the US. So it's kind of like one jumble mess versus another jumble mess. It makes one big jumble mess. And of course, that's why we got 0-0.
It was a battle of the youth because the US is like the youngest squad there at the World Cup, but also England had a bunch of their younger players on their team. They had some other players that it's like their first World Cup and everything. But in my what I saw, it was like the difference in the midfield. We have the youngest midfield with Musa, Tyler Adams, and Weston McKennie. Yet they held their ground. They protected that midfield like there was no tomorrow. And that shows. It shows, yes, you have English players who come up in the academies over there, yet they're over here being tackled by American kids who started playing on the side because, as you know, soccer is not the most popular sport here, so it's a little bit taboo to be playing soccer instead of basketball on at the playground type of situation. But that game just showed the level of talent we have, and to think that Musa just turned 20 today, it's insane. What's gonna happen when we host the World Cup in 4 years type of situation?
No, yeah, by the time it comes here, we should have a more of established team, fixing any loose ends. I mean, like, I feel like we have a decent team. Like, for like today, for example, which I don't want to get ahead yet, but they showed that like they can play, they can ball. Like, this is probably better teams than me and you in our lifetime have ever seen. So it's just interesting, like, to be part of that generation that's gonna like be able to like actually see good football, good footballers, good soccer players on the pitch, on the fields, like actually winning and looking good, and not just like having to fight for every ball, like
Mm-hmm.
to struggle. Which I want to say this team is soft, and that I don't want to disregard anybody, but like you could tell it's night and day. It's night and day with this 2022 squad versus like the 2010 squad from South Africa. Like, it's two different teams, and they were both special in their own like unique way.
You gotta also realize that half the team is around our age. So I feel like that makes it a little more special, at least for us, because it's like, dang, this person's like a year older than me, or this person's 2 years younger than me, and they're making a difference. They're like out there fighting for like their country type of situation, proving that, hey, I know, like proving that even though it's not our first sport here, we could handle it. Like you could try to bring us down, but we're here to fight. We're here to represent our nation. And you might think of us as the underdog, but we're not type of situation.
No, yeah, I mean, even some people would say that England was the underdog just because of the talent. Like, I think what it is too is just talent wise. You see the names, you see where they play, you see where they come from. It's like, okay, like they're not people to just mess around with. So that's why like this game was on tilt. Like, we're all right. Is the world about to explode? Because is it called soccer or is it called football? But
Yeah.
I digress.
The
But yeah,
Lions played like Cubs.
overall, there you go. That, put that on your as your headliner. The Lions played like Cubs. That's a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good game. I wish we would have won because it would have helped us out a little bit more, considering Iran beat Wales just before that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all good in the hood because you want to know what happened today. If you want to start moving on into that,
Oh, you go for it.
the
I'm a little
U,
too hyped to go for it.
the United States of America at 11 a.m. Western Time Pacific defeated Iran 1-0 to
Uh-huh.
qualify to the round of 16 and the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. And what a
Yeah,
hell of a game it was, as
it
in
was
this
intense.
situation after it was intense. After the England game, that put England on top with 3 points, one. Iran in second with 3 points. The US third was 2 points, and Wales last place with their single 1 point. So the deal here was that the USA had to win. They couldn't tie and they couldn't lose. And the other result was not going to bail them out. So it was live or die. And you could tell these guys, these son of a guns in this game, actually put their heart and soul into the match. I wouldn't say it was like the most wonderful, best soccer game I've ever seen, but these guys put a hell ton of pressure on the Iranian players throughout the whole match. You just see a USA player just run up on every person that got the ball and was like, "Oh man, what do we do? What do we do?" Because they were like, "Nah," because Iran was just trying to like bait the US. They weren't playing in the low block; they're playing in the mid block. So they were trying to catch the US moving up higher than they should have, but it never happened because the US just kept chasing the ball basically the whole entire match, which sounds kind of weird, but it was effective, and it was effective to the point that Iran just couldn't do nothing with the ball up until like late into the second half, where it was getting like very nervy, and we had to make a lot of subs. But yeah, the final scoreline was 1-0. It was the lone goal was scored by our very own Christian Pulisic from Hershey, Pennsylvania, in the 38th
Mr.
minute.
Captain America.
Uh, Captain America. Uh, the goal was assisted by Serginho Dest. But we have to. I mean, I'll say what I liked about the game overall, what about the performance more. But just go into the goal because the goal. I mean, this one goal is what defined the game. Uh, and you can't. There's no way anybody listening just can tell me I'm wrong. Although the Dest assist looks pretty, the main pass and the main component of this whole entire play was not the goal. It wasn't the assist. It was the assist before the assist when McKennie was like
Yes.
halfway down the field and then launched that shit. Who technically bobbled the ball, and that's the only reason why he hit it with his head, because he hit it wrong with his foot, and his ingenuity just kicked in, and he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta hit it now. Let me hit it with my head." Boom, hit it forward, and then Pulisic doing what he does, sticking the ball in the back of the net, and risking his balls for America.
He literally sacrificed his health for his nation. That is
Or as some people
that's
on
true
Twitter
Captain
said,
America right there.
he sacrificed his future children for
Or
this country.
my favorite was he sacrificed his pickle for the
Oh my
country.
gosh, I hate it. He
On
sacrificed
Twitter.
his pickle Rick. Oh
Yeah.
gosh. Dude, that is
No.
freaking hilarious. But yeah, I feel like the US played a really good match. Like I say, I wouldn't say it's the most wonderful thing I've seen in the world, but it was just it was pleasing that they were able to get the job done considering they've had so many struggles the past like I want to say 2 years, honestly, just trying to get it done against teams, especially away from home. And obviously, it's the World Cup. They're not playing here. They're playing somewhere else, a foreign place they've
Hmm.
never been to.
And you could tell that they are actually a family type of situation. Like they have that family bond on field and off field, and that helps the game truly. Because who else would communicate that well at that such a young age? It's like you gotta have that a strong bond, and it's shown. It's shown by the amount of support they each have for each other, and it's beautiful type of situation.
Wait, you mean Gio Reyna's not the grumpy little kid in the corner?
See, Jill, I
Oh
see,
wait, we
see,
forgot. I forgot one thing. You wanna? Hey, wait, real quick, real quick. Do you know who played in the England match? Can you tell me who played? You even mentioned this. Wow, your favorite player, and you didn't even mention him. Wow. Even I almost forgot to say this. Who played in the England match in like the 88th minute? Who was it? Who was it?
see. I was you were standing next to me, and I was screaming for Giovanni since like the first match at the 50th minute, and I didn't get to see him until the England game at the 80th minute, and it was Mr. Giovanni Reina, and I
Hey,
was
but did he
kind of
play in
sad.
this match? Did he play
Sadly,
in the
no.
Iran match? Because he didn't need
Sadly,
to.
no.
All he had to do was play defense, which I don't necessarily like because although after the Pulisic injury, we had to change up our whole entire game plan, which I want to say it didn't affect us, 9, so we actually started making defensive moves where we had who was it? Shaq Moore and was it Zimmerman that came on? I think it was that came on
See,
as a sub.
you're speaking as a person that just wanted to qualify. I over here actually wanted to like have our team place first. Like I wanted to have that goal difference type of situation and actually like beat England and take over that first spot. But no, you're over here. No, we just have to play defense. You can't always play defense.
No. I'm not saying I liked it. It's just that no, that's what. Well, I didn't. Why are you saying it like if I made the USA make those not very smart subs? You know who made those subs? It was Greg, and even people, the pundits are like, okay, like what are up with these subs? Like you knowing like you need a second, at least a second goal, which chance right after the first one where I think McKennie or Adams set up Tim Weah on a breakaway. He
Mm-hmm.
put the ball in the back of the net, but unfortunately, it was called offside, which rightfully so with the VAR and the offside tech. His leg and his arm, well, not his arm. His arm is not. Fun fact: the arm is not a playable body in soccer, so you can't count the arm as offside. His right or left, obviously, he only has 2 feet.
But
His right or left foot was offside, so yeah, unfortunately they didn't count it. I was jumping up in the air like yeah, and then once I saw his reaction, I was like, okay, never mind.
well, speaking of Tim Weah, we had to give him some props because he has been having an amazing tournament, scoring the first
I
goal
feel
for
like
the
he struggled
U.S.
today. I feel like he struggled today, low key though.
Robert, you try playing at the World Cup and for the
No, I know
thousands of
it's
people.
hard. Okay, I know it's hard. I know when your dad is the president of a whole ass country and you play at, or you used to get to play at PSG, and you kind of almost knew Messi and whatever. But come on, you got to admit, from the Wales game and the England game to now, like he was struggling. Even McKennie, like you could tell McKennie was just tired. He's like, I can't be carrying y'all. I know we got Pulisic, bro. I can't do this no more, guys. Like that was like his attitude. I felt like he was a tired boy. But shout out to Tim Ream and Cameron
M-
Carter Vickers for holding it down up in that. Cause damn, they put in work. They were tackling everybody. They weren't letting the Iranian offensive attackers like get any space. Like, mwah,
Oh,
French kisses.
Mr. Walker Zimmerman save Thor, Thor saving us from a tie.
Thor.
Amazing.
Oh gosh. Oh no, yeah. If we would have tied, we would have been out. So I mean, but I would also like to point out when he kicked the shit out of that ball, I think Shaq Moore was standing right in front of him when he kicked it in front of his own goal. I would have, bro. I swear, if do you know what I'm saying with this?
Uh huh.
Zimmerman could
Yes.
have kicked the shit out of that ball. Moore could have been standing right next to him, and that ball could have ricocheted into our own net. Considering that
Hmm.
ball, it luckily it didn't have the power, so it went through Turner's legs, but he was lucky enough it didn't have power and it deflected off of his foot, and Zimmerman was able to save it. But yeah, when I saw him kick it, and even when I see the instant replay, I'm like, holy shit. We were one own goal mistake away from pissing it all away. But I would have cried.
I've been like right there with you,
Oh,
crying
dude,
my eyes out.
I would have been like, not, I would have been like so sad. I would have been probably more sad than like when the U.S. didn't qualify to the World Cup.
Oh, see, when now that you said that, it takes me back to the picture of like Christian Pulisic just like huddled over crying into his shirt. And
Oh no.
look at him now having the first assist, assisting Mr. Weah for the first goal, and now having his own goal, sacrificing his pickle for his nation. But like you could tell he's leaving his heart on the pitch. And that's amazing to see, especially from somebody who wasn't able to make it to the World Cup 4 years ago and seeing how he built himself, he built his team, and he's there. He's like, it's my first time here. I'm going to prove to the people that I deserve to be here. And I'm also going to prove to my
Mhm.
club that I deserve a start type of situation.
Oh, dang. Wait, that last statement, it's almost as if you're going to talk about that later in the show or something.
Who knows? Maybe.
But yeah, I mean, you have a point. I was listening to Casey Keller on ESPN FC, and he was saying about Pulisic that this is more or less the most important game for him, most important moment, considering, he's been out at Chelsea. He has been getting playing time. This is his time to shine. He has an assist in the goal. So, I mean, we'll save that for later. But yeah, like it's a good time to be Mr. Pulisic at the moment. If you
Hopefully.
wanted to talk about other players, what happened?
Oh, I was like, hopefully we'll see him on Saturday's game against the Netherlands.
Oh, of course. Oh no, yeah. No, I think he's good. But positive player performance, Tyler Adams, our captain, Mr.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm saying Iran and not Iran. Um, Mr. Professional. There's a reason why he's our captain. I'm not gonna get into it because it was a ridiculous, stupid question. I believe, in my opinion. Sorry, not sorry. As someone that's worked in the journalism field, there was venom and what they were trying to give to Adams, but he was able to take it chill and confident and like his playing style. He did what he had to do out there, and I feel like it was a good game for him as well. I mean, not notable as in the England game, but yeah, he played good. I feel like not playing good, Haji Wright, Sargent, even Musa, I feel like they struggled. I know I said McKinney was struggling, but I think that was just tiredness. Um, if if you're Jesus Ferreira, you gotta be begging to be playing out there. So when we go into the round of 16, you gotta make some changes or something because our strikers are just not striking, and that's just not good.
It's crazy because we actually need a striker up there in order to continue the competition. We need more goals in order to make it farther. And
Oh
it's
yes, of
scary to
course.
think that our two goals scored so far have not been from our striker.
I know, right? Like that make no damn sense. Because we're next up to move on in our USA World Cup discussion. In the round of 16 on December 3rd, right at 7 a.m.
Yes.
Correct? Is that what we're saying? Yeah, 7 a.m. The US will now move on and play the Netherlands. Uh, and yeah, the Netherlands, historically, let me see. I have it right here. The U.S. men's team is. I have it here somewhere. Oh, head to head. Oh, the Netherlands leads head to head 4-1-0 against the U.S. with the one loss being in 2015, 4-3. Dude, I remember that game like if it was almost yesterday. I remember Jossie Zardes. It was a friendly, by the way. Jossie Zardes
Hmm.
scored the first goal, and then the last one was a game winner goal by Bobby Wood of all people. Dude, 2014, 2015, even 2016 men's US national team were something else. Like that was like I feel like if we were on like if we were like a toddler of actually playing good, it'd be those games. Because I remember around that same time, they also played Germany, who I think they tied or beat, I don't remember. But I do remember at that around that time period, they were also like dominant in the match where it wasn't like, oh, like yeah, it's a friendly, but they at least show that even not playing like I guess like the top players, they can still hold on to whatever these countries like throw at them.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be interesting what we get. Let me see. I got some notes I'd like to read here. The US men's national team will meet Netherlands on Saturday in the World Cup round 16. Um yeah, the last meeting was 43. This is what I was looking for. This will be their first competitive match between the teams. So there you go. I mean, what else do you want more from this?
You
Interesting
know what's
tidbit.
crazy?
What you got?
That Mr. Serginho Dest could have played for the Netherlands, but he chose to
I was
play for the
about to
US
say that.
men's national team. I read your mind. I beat you to it.
I literally just saw a thing also that said like he would have gotten the play there if the US didn't open up like their hand to him when like things were going wrong Okay, he's like, yeah, when I was like, basically to sum it up, I guess when he wasn't playing good, the Netherlands didn't bat an eye. But when he was struggling, the
The
U.S. were
US.
like, hey, like we're gonna help you out. We're gonna help you turn this thing around. And hey, look, although I do agree with the pundits, he does try to do too much. Like he's trying to be extra on the ball, but he's a baller, which we've never had. And I think he's like that main like suave, the suave guy that this team has always been needed, always been lacking. So
Mm-hmm.
he deserves to be on this team. So I'm glad that he decided to represent the United States.
Oh, me too. We needed him. Well, you saw him today. It was
Yeah.
random, but it was an assist. Somehow, we got a goal, and he's been holding his position. He's been very defending and driving forward. So I'm very glad he chose to play for the U.S.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to a very competitive match. A couple other stats I like to throw out there. The U.S. has not conceded a single shot in the World Cup half for the first time since 1966. The U.S. is 21-0-1 when leading at halftime under head coach Greg Berhalter. The lone draw was in the opener against Wales, which technically there wasn't a draw, but it was a 1-1 draw. Um, Pulisic scores his first career FIFA World Cup goal. It's his first competitive goal on foreign soil since the U.S. in 2017 in Trinidad and Tobago in the game that they were eliminated from the 2018 World Cup. Bruh, that's a hell of a crazy ass stat, bro. Your last competitive goal off of U.S. soil was when you guys got eliminated. Ain't that some shit, huh, Alondra?
It is, but it proves that if you're determined to make it to the World Cup, you're gonna make it to the World Cup type of situation. It shows that you're gonna put all your hard work into it in order to play the game you want to play. You want to be with the top players, you're gonna strive for it. You're gonna train for it, and that's exactly what this team did. And hopefully, they give it their all against the Netherlands and continue to move forward.
No, yes, of course. I think that's everything I have written down. Two things I need to ask you, and I'll go first on the first part. Um, Basically, the outcome for this game, I'm hoping for another competitive match. If they can match the same energy and intensity that 2015 squad did against the Netherlands in a friendly, like they didn't have to try to win that game, but now we're in a knockout round game. There's no draw, there's no ties. Nothing's gonna bail you out. So it's either show up or show out once again in this game. I'm just gonna go keep it simple, 2-1. Part of me wants to say that's gonna be 2-0 USA and then Netherlands scores for fun.
Uh,
So
you you see how I read your mind previously? You just read my mind. I was about to say 2-1 USA type of situation as well.
but the team has to play a lot of defense. So do you think we'll be going into overtime or extra time, I should say?
See, I don't want to, but we may. It depends. We have to strike early type of situation and just keep attacking. And hopefully we make it within the 90 minutes. Because once we go into overtime, like my anxiety kicks in and you might see me crying in like the corner type of situation. So I'm just hoping 2-0, hoping for 2-0, but we'll be happy with a 2-1. But I just want a early goal from the US.
No, yeah, I want them to get on the score sheet like pretty early because I don't want to have anxiety like today. So I would
And
appreciate that.
I want Mr. Giovanni Reina on the field. You were
That
saying
was gonna be my second question.
we have some tired
I was gonna
players.
say, is Gio playing or what?
I think he has to, especially since we're playing against a very defense team. We need somebody with fresh legs up there, and he has the height. If we're gonna be doing long crosses, we need somebody tall up there to like strike them in, and he deserves a chance. He's shown what he could do with Dortmund. He's shown what he could do with the US. So get him off the bench, please. That's all I want.
Well, all you can do is hope and pray that Greg Berhalter alters his starting 11 or his game plan for the match against the Netherlands. Because I
If he
can't do much
subs
about that.
in Aaron Long or Mr. Morrison before Giovanni Reina, I am walking out type of situation. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that to a person.
It is what it is, big dog.
It is what it is.
But is there anything else you would like to? One other thing you would like to speak of before we wrap up this section of the show?
Question: who do you think our striker should be? Do you want Hajim Wright or Mr. Josh Sargent or Jesus Pereira?
They
Who
both
should be our
they both.
striker?
All right, I don't know. I don't know at this point because none of these guys are good. We're gonna have to go back to the drawing board on our striker because none of these guys are either A, getting the ball, getting into spaces for the ball, and none of them are when you like early on Josh Sargent with his speed and his usefulness, I would say, all right, him. When Pepe was
Mm-hmm.
cooking it, all right, put in Pepe. Ferreira, all right, he's a decent backup. Haji Wright, he didn't really do much for me in this game, so it's basically like the goalie situation. Just put in whoever's got the hot hand.
My issue right now is I feel like our strikers want the ball placed at their feet and they're not really creating plays or they're not really contributing to the play. And when you're playing a defensive team, you need somebody who's willing to go up against a defender and like just shoot on target.
No, yeah, I completely agree. It's just that I feel like we need someone to get into better positions. Cause I feel like Pulisic, Jedi Robinson, Dest, they're all getting the ball like in wide and open areas, but no one's going inside. So it's just like,
Mm-mm.
dude, like something's got to change.
Exactly. Also, a part of me wishes Mr. I love how Christian Pulisic takes corners. He's getting better at it. But a part of me wishes he would rotate with a different player and have him actually in the box because Buddy likes to dive. Like he dove against Mexico to score. He's done it a few times at Chelsea. So like rotate who takes your corners. I know he's been established, but maybe that might give us like some creativity in the game. Like have somebody else take a corner and see if he could dive in and score a goal.
I think it's because if it's not him, I think it's Eugenio Dest, but I think you need Dest out there just to control the ball and slow things down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, one can only hope.
One could only hope. Hey, like the World Cup says, we're just dreamers here. We're just hoping, we're
Oh
just
gosh.
dreaming.
Oh no. Are you giving me Qatar propaganda?
No, I'm giving you K-pop propaganda. Miss.
Ew. Okay, I think this is a good time to transition topics now. Thank you very much. um, if you're interested in checking out the next game, it's December 3rd, 7 a.m. Rise and shine, everybody. USA versus Netherlands. Okay.
Mhm.
Me and Alondra are both confident that we could win this game. So fingers crossed. Let us know
Oh,
in the comments what you think. But moving on in our programming, we got once again from football to more football, except not NFL football. We're gonna be talking about some college football playoffs, in which we don't always get to talk about because college football is a little bit hard to discuss because it's so broad and huge, and all the schools and universities span across the United States of America. So it does get a little confusing. But for our longtime listeners, you guys know deep down inside, I love me some college football. Alondra, are you familiar with college football?
see, I'm familiar with like USC, UCLA, and their rivalry. But like my knowledge doesn't span that well to like all 50 states.
Well, good thing you listen and are on this podcast because I will try to give you the crash course version of college football. Okay. So
Enlighten
college
me,
football
please.
is like, and yeah, I will enlighten you. College football is similar to, I guess you could say, high school football, where there's the conferences. You mentioned USC and UCLA. They play in the Pac-12 conference, which includes universities like Oregon, Oregon State, Washington, Washington State, Cal, Berkeley, uh, Arizona, Arizona State, Stanford is also included, Colorado and Utah. So that makes up the Pac-12. Sorry if I missed one. I think if I know how to count. Um, and there's a bunch of conferences all across the country. Currently, uh, as of this recording, they released the newest college football playoff rankings, in which number one is Georgia, number two is Ohio's. Oh wait, that's wrong. Wait, that is completely wrong. Number two is Michigan. Um, Sorry, why is my thing not updated? What the heck happened? Yeah, number one is Georgia. Number two is Michigan. Number three is TCU. And coming in number four, for the first time in the college football playoffs existence, USC has cracked the top four and is currently in a position to go to the playoffs. So how about them apples, everybody? Haha. Go Trojans. Haha, I said it. How about that? But yeah, to round out the top 10, we got Ohio State at number 5, number 6 Alabama, 7 Tennessee, 8 Penn State, number 9 Clemson, and number 10 Kansas State. Alondra, do any of those names ring a bell?
See, I'm a basic girl from Long Beach, so I'm gonna say USC. It's
Unfortunately,
like,
any school in that area that you just said do not have a football team. So yeah.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like you mentioned UCLA and USC, and then I got lost. Like, I've been to like the sporting goods, and I see the different like merch for all these other like universities. Yeah, my university doesn't have a sport like a football team, so like I really can't relate.
It's all good in the hood. I mean, I went to a school that didn't have a football team, but hey, beggars can't be choosers, you know? But yeah, going down through the rabbit hole of college football, we go over some important games, specifically ranked teams that lost, which is how we have uh these rankings now. The big game over the weekend in Alondra, I think you know this one. The big
Ohio
game
State.
that and Michigan, yes, Ohio State was ranked number 2 over the weekend, and they were playing at home at the Horseshoe with number 3 Michigan visiting, in which Ohio State was trampled by the Wolverines of Michigan, 45-23. I'm pretty sure the Buckeyes are out because there's no way in hell that they have a chance. I mean, the one chance they have is USC losing this weekend. But I'll get more into that in a bit. Michigan just I I didn't get to watch slash see most of the game, but what I was told and heard was that Michigan and Ohio State were going back and forth in the first half. But in the second half, Michigan just turned it on, in which Ohio State had no answer. It went like this: Michigan would score, then Ohio State would score, and then Michigan would score again, and Ohio State would score. So it was basically who was not going to score. But the problem was is that although Ohio State was in the game, they ran out of gas, such as uh their drives to score were more of a struggle than Michigan, who just kept hitting them with big play after big play, and Ohio State never had an answer. So yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbled for the Buckeyes in this game. So their only their only saving grace is that USC loses because they're 4 and Buckeyes are 5. So yeah, that's just the way it went. Another shocking loss was Clemson, who lost to unranked South Carolina, 31-30. Clemson for sure, I believe, are done. I think they're ninth right now. So
I,
that might be it for them. Is that what it says on the list? They're ninth.
I saw eighth, but who knows?
Let me see. Well, just gotta check again. Let me see what we got. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, they
Num
went from eighth to ninth. Yeah, Penn
okay.
State took the eighth spot. Um, Oregon State beat number 9 Oregon in what they call the Civil War rivalry up there in the Pacific Northwest.
I love that.
Yeah, it's called the Civil War. So yeah, 21 beat number 9. Oregon State won 38. No, excuse me, 43-38. If I wrote that down correctly, why did I write it backwards? What the hell's wrong with me? Oregon State moved up to 15, and Oregon went down to 16. How about them apples? Oh look, who's on here? Number 17, UCLA. You know UCLA, right?
Yes.
Close enough.
I know that
So
they're in East LA and that they play at the Coliseum.
yes, well, USC plays in. Okay, all right.
Not teach me.
Okay,
Enlighten me.
USC, their campus is located in South LA, and they play at the Coliseum. UCLA, their campus is in Pasadena and Westwood, and they play at the Rose Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah,
Dang.
we got it.
We got it.
We got it.
Robert,
Okay.
I was born and raised in Long Beach. I know my area. Like, I know I can be a little blonde sometimes, but like, I know my areas.
You're like, I only know the Long Beach Convention Center.
Hey, it says the person that goes to the Long Beach Convention Center for concerts.
Hey, whoa, that was only one time. Hey, man, we don't speak about that. Wait, no, for you, it's the pyramid, the blue pyramid that is built for no reason.
It's our basketball stadium, like basketball courts, basketball stadium, and you
I've
could
seen
see
it. I've
it
been
from
there.
and you could see it from LAX. How about that? It became a
Ah,
Long Beach landmark.
interesting. But yeah, I digress. Continuing on, Texas A&M beat number 5 LSU 63-21, a shellacking, as some people like to say. Where is LSU? Okay, LSU is now 14. Good job. And then USC and Notre Dame played their historic rivalry. They don't just have one rivalry. Just to let y'all know, USC at the time was number 6. Notre Dame was number 15. USC won 38-27. I believe the score was like 20 something to 7 at halftime. For some reason, USC forgets how to play defense halfway through the game. But hey, they still won the golden. No, I always say it's wrong. It's not the golden shillelagh. It's the jeweled shillelagh. Do you know what a shillelagh is, Alondra?
I do not know. Explain.
Basically, it's like a stick with like a club at the end. It's kind of long and it's very hard. So if you get hit in the head, it's gonna hurt.
Okay. See, I was gonna make a comment of how like Detroit, how you said like you see USC couldn't do wasn't can't do defense. I'm like, you expect Trojans to be able to like defend, but at least they still won.
No, yeah, I was able to watch part of the game. I'm really glad that they were able to, not screw it up, screw the pooch, as some people like to say. Because yeah, that would if they would have lost, that would have been it. Their college football playoff chances would have been out the door because they already have one loss, which I'm about to get to in a little bit. So, and back to the Ohio State thing. But yeah, I'm just glad that they were able to, get the win, beat their rival. I guess a decent Notre Dame team who struggled out the gate. Their playoff chances were over before he even started. I think they lost like their first 2 games. Um, Before this, they had only lost 3, so they had turned it around. But you don't want, I mean, you never want to lose to your rival. So even if both teams sucked, like it was a good game to watch either way.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Alondra, we gotta get you into college football, bro. You're missing out.
We do. Hopefully next season I'll go to a game at the Rose Bowl. How about that? We'll make a
How
day
about the
out of it.
Coliseum? Because we don't. Wait, you want to go to the Rose Bowl? Are you sure about that?
See, if I'm passenger princess, we could go to the Rose Bowl. But like, if I had to drive, then the Coliseum it is.
Don't worry, we'll get a group of friends. I know some people. I know a few people that we work with who love college football as much as I do. So don't worry, we'll show you what's up. Don't even trip, cuh.
Okay. Are you gonna
Don't
teach me some
even
of the
trip.
chants and everything?
I could teach you a fight song or two, but yeah, maybe we'll see what's
Okay.
up.
Are we gonna tailgate
But
and everything? Am I getting the full experience?
hey, hey, man, hey,
Hey,
we'll talk about this later, bro.
I need the full experience if you want me to become interested in college football. If you want a
Hey, man.
girl to, she needs the full experience.
All right, fool. We'll see. Cause the people I know, hey, man, they'll be like tequila, tequila is the name of the
Hey,
game.
see, they drink with the no sabo kid, but like Mexicana over here that went to Tequila Jalisco when she was 18. So like I could drink tequila. I don't know about the no sabo kid, but we're tailgating.
Who you calling a little Sabo kid?
You.
Nah, you're tripping. Modelo time, fool. Or Coronas, whatever we got. But I digress. Yeah, I mean, besides the actual games, yeah, tailgating is always fun at college football games. But yeah, to get back on track, um, after these games, of course, I've already kind of said the rankings. And now back to what I was talking about with Ohio State. Um, the conferences are up now, which Ohio State is not playing in the Big Ten uh, conference championship game. Um, on Friday, the Pac-12 championship game will be played between number 14 Utah versus number six. No, well, Dang it! I wrote all these notes and now they're not out of order. Great, good job. Okay.
The thing
Number
is, I
11
use the same
Utah.
notes, so you're trying to enlighten me, yet you're confusing me at the same time.
Okay, well, now we're gonna go on the fly, as some podcasts have to do. So, number 11 Utah will be playing number 4 USC at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas for the Pac-12 championship. If USC wins this, they guarantee a spot in the college football playoffs. But if they lose this game, basically the rubber match against Utah, Ohio State or even Alabama at this point have a chance to get in with a slimmer of a chance. Because what was USC gonna say? Oh, come on, we lost in our championship game. No, you lost in a championship game to a team you already beat. No, they already lost to, excuse me. So what y'all gonna complain about? Nothing. Like, pack your bags, go home, buddy. Fly home, buddy. I work alone. But yeah, like, this is USC's chance to show, like, hey, like, that loss was a fluke and we could beat these guys, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they lose, Ohio State is in for sure. Another Friday conference championship game is Conference USA with North Texas at the University of Texas San Antonio. Hey, you see how I know? Look, see, I know what's up. They're playing at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. Then Saturday, this is where the other big boy games are coming into play. We got the Big 12 championship game between Kansas State, who is 10th, and TCU, who is now 3rd. That's at noon on ABC. They're playing at A&T Stadium in Arlington. That's going to be a good game. I mean, because if TCU loses, then what does that do for Ohio State? What does that do for the bottom teams that are right behind them? In the American Championship game, we got UCF, who is now, well, no, they're still 22. Look at that. They're playing at Tulane at 4 p.m. Where's Tulane at? Tulane is number 18 at 4 p.m. Eastern on Fox, and Boise at, no, wrong one. In New Orleans. There you go. On ABC as well. You catch that on ABC for the American Championship game. In the Mountain West Championship game, we got Fresno State at Boise State. Alondra, what do you know about Boise State?
See, you asked me the wrong question type of situation. I know that Fresno is like the armpit of California, but that's like location wise, but that's pretty much it.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you just said that.
If you're
Bro, you're out of
traveling,
pocket.
if you're doing a road trip in California, Fresno is like the middle of nowhere. It's literally the armpit because you'll pit stop in Fresno if you have to, but like you're trying to make it up to like San Francisco, San Jose, like you're trying to go to the bigger cities. So it's like The armpit.
You know that armpit of university created Derek Carr, who now plays for the the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, the Raiders kind of suck right now, but that's the only shining light I could tell you about
I'm saying
Fresno
the
State.
city is located in the armpit of California. I'm not shit talking the school.
I mean, you might as well, bro, low key. But yeah, moving on. And one of the other bigger conference games, the SEC championship game, we got LSU. Where are you guys at? Is LSU ranked? Bro, where'd y'all go? Oh, all right. They're 14 now after the loss. Number 14 LSU will be playing number 1 Georgia at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. The ACC championship game will be between number 9 Clemson versus number 23 North Carolina. You can also catch that game at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. And then finally on my list, we got the Big Ten championship between Purdue and number 2 Michigan at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. So I believe that wraps up the college football playoff portion of this segment. Alondra, do you have anything to add besides that you want to go tailgate and you know that USC and UCLA exist?
It's going to be a busy football weekend in both American football and what we call soccer. So, like, whoever's watching all the games, it's like it's gonna be an all-day drinking type of situation. Like waking up, watching your World Cup games, continuing the party with your American football games. And yes, we still have to go
Oh,
tailgate.
no, yeah. Just to let the people know, me and Alondra were watching a World Cup game in which we were by a bar, and we were like, who are these people wearing all red? And I had just forgotten because I was focused on other things, of course, on the World Cup. And it hit me, oh, wait, Ohio State is playing. And there was like a crap ton of Ohio State fans lined up outside this bar at 9 in the morning, 8 in the morning, actually, right? It was like 8 in the morning.
8:30ish. The dedication.
Yeah, because we had went out to go see Mexico play Argentina, which is a different story other than itself, but we were like, who are these people in red? And I was like, oh yeah, there's that other big football game.
They're literally having a party, and it's like we had a few hours of downtime. I was like, I wanted to join their party because I'm like, somebody who's able to wake up at 7 in the morning to watch a football game like at 8 and day drink. It's like, sign me up. Like
I did it once. I mean, I didn't day drink, but I watched a football game in the morning. It was USC and I don't remember who the other team was, but they played like at 9 a.m. It was kind of weird. But yeah, I think that does it for this portion of college football playoffs. But we are going to transition now into the warm-up, which still revolves around college football, surprisingly. Okay, Alondra, what do you know about the Rose Bowl?
Are we talking?
We just had a lesson about it. Yes. So for this week's warm-up topic, the Rose Bowl, a historic venue in Southern California, in Pasadena, the city of roses, which is how it got its name, obviously, is under a strict deadline. Oh, yeah, of course. It's great. It's under a strict deadline, however. Oh, I like how you went from a positive to a negative. Anyways, it's under a strict deadline with the college football playoff committee. If they want to continue their role in the playoffs, the committee must determine whether the college football format can expand in time for the start of the 2024 regular season. You know, if the game's most storied bowl can't agree to the terms, it's very much possible that they will be excluded from the New York Six bowl rotation in the next contract. The college football organization will essentially be losing $450 million in potential gross revenue. So, Alondra, in short, to explain to you, basically ever since they started doing the playoffs, which is still like the past couple of years, it's still brand new.
Mhm.
There's at least 6 main bowl games in which they rotate. So there's obviously only 4 teams. There's only 2 playoff games, and then the final, which consists of the 6. So you only need 3 of the 6, and usually they play them around New Year's because the Rose Bowl historically has always been played on New Year's Day. But since they want to expand the playoffs to 12 teams in 2024, that would mean that they would have to move up or move down the days on which the playoffs are played on. And like I said, that puts the Rose Bowl in a sticky situation because they always play the game on New Year's Day, either as just a bowl game itself between the Pac-12 and Big Ten champion, a playoff game, which they've been doing, or whatever else they've had before prior in the past when they just play the games on New Year's Day because just for fun, the same
Mhm.
day as the Rose Parade, right?
Yes.
So it's kind of a big deal, but not a big deal. Like it's a big deal in the sense that they want to keep tradition going, but it's not a big deal in the sense that all it is, we just gotta play a game on a different day.
See, I'm over here thinking about Rose Bowl in Pasadena and New Year's Day and how it's like the Rose Parade and then like a football game on that same day. I'm like getting to that stadium's a mess on its own, and having to deal with all that traffic is gonna be insane. But like it's tradition. It's like, do you break tradition or do you like host the game on that day and deal with Pasadena traffic? Because if you miss your exit to the Rose Bowl, you are looping it for like 20 miles almost
In traffic.
in traffic. And
I
it's
was
like,
recently over there not so long ago. It's all one way, like not one way road, but only one lane roads. So it's like you're stuck for like a hot minute.
oh, and it's like you're gonna be like you're gonna be stuck on a hill, and you better hope your car is automatic, or else you're gonna be like rolling back. And it's like the anxiety. It's like, do you really want to start off your new year having like anxiety attack?
I do not. That doesn't sound fun at all. But yes, I mean all of that is important. But in the proposed 12-team format for 2024, the Cotton and Orange Bowls would stay true to the current agreement and host semifinals. And in 2025, the Fiesta and Peach Bowls would also host semifinals as currently planned. So basically, I think, yeah, it's for next year and then 2026 or 27. So it's like, all right, well, we have to add games into this
Mm-hmm.
situation, but they're like, well, we can't obviously have that game being played um on New Year's Day. It just can't happen. It just won't work because the games are already like kind of far out. Like I think it's a 1 week difference.
Mm-hmm.
So it just wouldn't work. And like what they have now, because now you have more games. But yeah, I mean, is there anything that you would like to know or ask in regards to just the college football format or why it's just
It's
important for the Rose Bowl game to be played on New Year's Day?
my question is, couldn't they format it similar to like the Super Bowl? Like not necessarily like the Super Bowl's held every single February, like that first Sunday. So it's like it's never the same date type of situation, it's the same day. So instead of always having it on New Year's Day, be like, hey, we're gonna have it this first week of January on this Sunday type of situation. Would that work? Is that just a stupid idea? Let me know.
It could, but they would have to rearrange the whole entire schedule because look at like we just had a discussion about their conference finals, which are
Mm-hmm.
happening now in late November slash early December. Because like I said, I don't know if I'd already mentioned this, but there's more than just these 6 bowl games. There's like
Uh-huh.
a crap ton of them. There's like I don't know. It's always kind of changed every year because some bowl games no longer exist. They come and go. They they always has different names. They'll be like the Red Box Sun Bowl in New Mexico or something like that, or the dang it, was it the USC was playing at this one for a while. It was the Las Vegas like purple car. I forgot what it was. Some like car company manufacturer or whatever. They were there for a while. There was also like I remember USC played like the Bourbon Bowl like in New Orleans or Louisiana. So a lot of these playoffs have like come and gone. I mean, not the playoffs, but the bowl games have come and gone. So,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, who's texting me? Get away. So a lot of these bowl games have come and gone. So it just depends on how they want to present it and how they want to do it. But yeah, I think if they were to go into January, February, that would just be too late. Because then, yep, what you have to think about, excuse me, what you have to think about is, uh, when do semesters usually end for colleges?
Mm-hmm.
Like
It's
January, like or
last week
late
of
December.
January.
Yeah, late December, early January, or anywhere in January, basically.
Yes.
So I think what they try to avoid is having the season expand into the next semester, trimester, whatever
Okay.
it may be. So I think that's what the problem also lies in. The article on ESPN, which I was looking at, doesn't really show it because their source is not a direct source in this article, which I'm just gonna call them out for that, low key.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they basically are giving them a deadline for this week. This is Wednesday, but we have to wait and see what happens now. If the Rose Bowl committee does change their mind, um, according to this supposed source, I'm gonna read the quote. We want the Rose Bowl. We have a good partnership with the six bowls we are affiliated with. We do, and we want to continue with that. I hope the Rose Bowl will be part of that. There's no guarantee in any of that. None. Look, see, like even this quote is not the best. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's something that's still up in the air because I know it's been like maybe 2 years since they brought this up. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's just yeah, it they just want to like maneuver it so it's not necessarily in that time frame of being a New Year's Day game, or at least giving up the idea that the Big Ten and the Pac-12 champion can't play each other no more. So they would have to find other options for that. It's just like a really mucky thing to discuss, if that makes any sense.
Yes. See, I was just suggesting to have the game just be played on like the first week of January.
I mean, it already is technically. It's literally on New Year's Day.
But like,
How much more do you want?
no, but like, if let me look at the calendar because you're not understanding my situation. So, put it this way: New Year's Day is Sunday this year, which is typical for football. Like Sunday football makes sense. But like, if you can't play it on that January 1st, why don't you play it on like January 7th or like the 6th, like that Friday or Saturday? That same still week, but like have all the stadiums align to work maybe a different day on that first week. That way, all games are played like on the same day, type of situation.
I mean, yeah, that could work. I think what they want to do is let me see. Let me just look at the article again. Da, 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 da. All right, here we go. The four highest ranked conference champions will be seeded 1 through 4, with each receiving a first round bye. Okay. Teams seeded 5 through 12 will play each other in the first round. The quarterfinals and semifinals will be played in bowl games on a rotating basis, and the championship game will be at a neutral site as under the current 4-team format. Okay, that makes sense. But I think what it is, like, yeah, they want to keep that January 1st day, and then try to keep Big Ten, Pac-12, which just won't work. It's just not feasible.
The thing is, if you're not willing to adjust, you're making it harder on yourself, type of situation. It's
Yeah,
like
but remember,
it
it's a traditional thing. It's a traditional thing.
it's tradition, but sometimes traditions are meant to be broken.
bit. I mean, like, as someone that grew up watching Rose Bowl games, like, yeah, it'd be really weird to not have, like, the way it is now. Like, if it wasn't the way it is now, I would have never, like, teared up seeing USC beat Penn State on that 2016-2017 Rose Bowl game where they were down, like, by a couple of touchdowns, and what's his name? Devontae Burnett scoring 3 touchdowns, his hat trick to help them come back in the game, and then having them get a pick six and then have a game-winning field goal in the last 2 seconds of the game. Like, like you're gonna lose that. Basically, you're gonna lose that type of like moment. I mean, college football will always be college football. It's always sporadic. It's always random. It's always nerve-wracking, like in any sport. But yeah, you're gonna lose that traditional value.
See, I'm coming from somebody like neutral perspective. It's like other sports got postponed during the pandemic. So, like we're saying, the World Cup used to be played in the summer. So it's like us saying like this World Cup doesn't feel the same because before I used to be at home in the summer watching the game every single day. Stuff happened, it got postponed to winter. It's like if you're not able to adjust, you're not able to progress type of situation. Like yes, it's tradition, but sometimes you have to like tweak it. Even if it's just a day, like 1 day switch. Like it's still gonna happen. You're still gonna have those memories, but it's gonna be on a different date. Like the Super Bowl got changed. It used to be always the first Sunday of February. What happened? We had a pandemic. It got moved towards like the middle end of February. It still happened. It was an amazing game. Yet situation like it wasn't on its traditional weekend. Do you get what I'm
I mean,
saying?
but also you have to remember this World Cup is shrouded and covered in controversy. So I get what you mean, but a little bit different. It's same but different at the same time. Also, another thing I just realized too, I think what it is, and not just the day, it's the time. This game is always played in the daytime, most like or like late afternoon. So it's like an early game that gets played into the night or like the beginning of the nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
Like according to this article, someone from the community told ESPN earlier they wanted to maintain the exclusive broadcast window on January 1st at 2 p.m. PT and years that it would also host a CFP final. So yeah, it's a very complicated thing.
It's very complicated. The sport's complicated. So in
But
order
it
for
doesn't
me to
have
get
to
into
be.
the sport, we gotta tailgate.
Oh gosh. Okay, I think on that note, I think we've discussed enough of the Rose Bowl management that's going down for the bowl game. So hopefully they are able to figure it out this week, supposedly. But yeah, historically the Rose Bowl's January 1st, middle of the day, well, midday into the night. That's how it's always been. But hey, we'll figure it out in the next couple of years. I just wanted to go down memory lane for myself as well. I grew up watching a lot of Rose Bowl games, specifically with USC beating Penn State twice, beating Illinois. Um, everyone knows the stunner that they had against Texas was Vince Young running into the back of the end zone and finally defeating the mighty Trojans. But yeah, had cheers for the Rose Bowl, honestly. May
See,
its legacy live on forever wherever it may go now.
you do realize you're talking to the person that had her first Rose Bowl experience was a One Direction concert. Don't sigh.
Oh boy. All right. Well, at least with One Direction, you were able to run to the stage. And I'm using that now as a transition to our rundown segment of the show to wrap it up. We've made it to the end of our programming here. And in the rundown, we got a few things we'd like to go over really quick. Rundown is just things that we didn't get to cover. We might just gloss over little things here and there we like to announce. So, Alondra, you in our faux show production meeting the other day, came up
Uh-huh.
with this, and I know I kind of hinted at it earlier on in the show. Chelsea, Pulisic, what is going on there?
So after the US versus England game, Chelsea posted a photo of Raheem Sterling, Christian Pulisic, and Mason Mount, and the majority of the comments were about Mr. Captain America, how he was like the man of the match, how he deserves more starting time because he's proven himself on the field. People were comparing him to Mason Mount, which I personally think it's not okay. It's like they're individual players, but it's showing that US players are actually making an impact and that Premier League fans are watching the Rose Bowl and they're seeing this. They're seeing like, oh shoot, we give them so much slack. They mess up a pass in a Premier League game and we're throwing them under the bus, yet we don't give them enough chances. Like they have talent. They deserve to start. And as a Chelsea fan and an American, I was very proud to see it. I was like, give him the praise he deserves. And not just him, because there's other players on the men's national team, such as we have Brendan Aronson, Tyler Adams with Leeds, and it's like they're receiving the praise they deserve as well. Because it's like you're you're going up against academy players and you're proving your worth. You're like, I was taught to play football probably during PE class or like in little league on the weekends, yet I'm out here competing with you, who probably started off at an academy at like the age of 6.
Yeah, I mean, you make all good points there. Look at his stat line. It's not big here in the World Cup because obviously it's his first World Cup. 1 goal, 1 assist, and 1 goal, and he's playing as consistent as he ever, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, if he wants more money, fork it over. If not, send him somewhere else where it's less controversial for him. Like I feel like
Mhm.
it is silly that the tabloids and the media are just like, well, Thomas Tuchel doesn't want to play him because he's hurt or he's complaining, or we hear, oh, Pulisic doesn't feel like it's all good in the hood. Why am I here? Like, all right, which one is it? Is he hurt? Is he complaining? Does the coach not like him? Like, come on, fool.
Robert,
Like,
Thomas Tuchel is
what?
no longer the Chelsea coach.
Oh, damn it! I forgot about that. Oh, who is it then? Enlighten me, because you're a Chelsea expert. I remember. Thank you
Oh,
for reminding me. He did get sacked. Like, see,
Mr. Potter.
oh, okay. Even he said he don't want to play him, right?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you for reminding me. Well, see, there you go. I mean, that even probably helps out my point more. It was all just one big jumbled mess, and it was just a crapshoot on he said, she said, and it just hasn't worked out, right?
It's crazy because the club is owned by an American.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how. I mean, it is what it is. But
And
I mean, you do have a point. Like you would think that there would be communication up and down the board, but in this case, there is not. I mean, in European football, soccer, it is up to the coach. Mr. Potter um, hasn't fixed anything either. Chelsea still has the same issues. So
mhm.
even after you get a new coach, you still have the same lingering problems. So that's what I'm saying. Like, what is it then? Is is it me? Am I the problem, Mr. Pulisic, or
Okay,
is it just the club is just not suitable for him at this point anymore in his career?
I love how you just quoted Taylor Swift there and enjoying this. And going back to my situation, how we were talking about the board, people are probably like, well, he's an American. He doesn't know about how Premier League sports are ran. And to those people, I'm going to tell you one thing. It's like, did you ever play kickball as a kid? One of the greatest elementary school sports ever, which was a cross between American soccer and baseball. It's like it's been proven before to function together. So like listen to your director and play the American on the field.
Just pass it to the American.
pass it to the American. I'm like, hey, they dominated versus England.
I know, right? That's why it's just a weird situation as well. It's just I don't know. I think in my opinion he needs to move, or there has to be a change in leadership there. Because like who is it? He said, she said. Who is it? What is it?
I want to see him at Leeds. I want to see that Brendan Erickson, Tyler Adams, and Christian Pulisic.
Just put the Americans all in one team.
I'm like, they have an American coach as it is, so might as well.
I guess.
Have them dominate the Premier League.
I suppose, Alondra.
And then it was crazy because Christian got linked with Man United as maybe as a transfer or purchase in January. And then, but Man United just ended the relation with Ronaldo. So I'm like, who knows? But kind of don't want to see him at Man United.
Yeah, it'd be kind of weird, low-key.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, is there anything else that you would like to enlighten us about the Chelsea Pulisic situation?
Well, we talked about him, but he wasn't the only player receiving some praise. Mr. Hakim Ziyech was also receiving praise from the Chelsea team. He's somebody else who has just been benched almost the whole season, yet he's proven himself on the Morocco team. So I think
I know who you're talking about.
the Wizard. He's known as the Wizard.
The Wizard. Okay, I think I know who you're talking about because I know this a guy on Chelsea. I'm like, I don't know how to say your name, bro.
Mm-hmm. So
good to know. Good to know.
Yeah. So there's a couple players on that Chelsea team who have been proving themselves, and people are backing them up. And it's like, coming from some of the most toxic clubs in the Premier League, it's good to see that people are opening up their eyes and being like, oh, let's give these Americans a chance. Or let's let our bench riders actually have some starting minutes.
No, yes, of course. You always want to see your countrymen thrive wherever they go.
Mm-hmm.
But if that is everything, would you like to move on into another part of the rundown? I know we're running long here, but I know people love hearing all our rambling.
Go ahead, lead us into the next topic.
Since you were speaking about Chelsea so positively, do you know who they're playing in their round of 16 match in the UEFA Champions League?
It's Borussia Dortmund, no?
Do you know who else played for Borussia Dortmund?
Mr. Giovanni Reina.
No, the other guy. There you go. But yeah, they were playing each other in the first round of 16 in Champions League. Other games that are listed, we got Manchester City versus RB Leipzig, Benfica versus Club Brugge, Real Madrid versus Liverpool,
That's
Tottenham
gonna be an amazing game.
You think so?
I think so.
All right, I see you. We got Tottenham versus AC Milan, Napoli, who is on fire, versus Eintracht Frankfurt. I think that's how you say that. Then you got Porto versus Inter Milan, and then I got Bayern Munich versus PSG. Which one of the? I know you said. Oh, okay. I think you just answered my question. I was gonna say besides the Madrid Liverpool game, it sounds like the Bayern Munich PSG game is on your calendar as well.
Yes, PSG has been great team, amazing lineup, but they have been struggling when it comes to Champions League, UEFA League. So having them play against Bayern Munich, that's going to be a game to watch. It's going to be a back and forth. And I think PSG has to prove themselves because they always make it so far. Yeah, not far enough.
That is true. I mean, yeah, I'd be interested to see on how this, I guess you could say, more adjusted PSG team does against Bayern Munich without Lewandowski at the helm now. So we have to just wait and see what happens there. For me, yeah, I want to see that Chelsea Dortmund game. I think I want to see Napoli. They're playing Frankfurt, who is also good right now in the German league, but Napoli by themselves are just on a tear. So I want to see them play. I want to see how they do. I want to see how this Italian side does in the Champions League. I think they might go all the way, low-key.
I'm gonna ask you a quick question. During this Champions League, who is gonna have more goals? Haaland for Man City, or is it gonna be Mr. Let's think PSG French. Why can I remember his
Mbappe.
name? Mbappe.
Mbappe!
Who's gonna have more goals,
For
Mbappe or Haaland?
Holland, without a doubt. Holland with like 3 hat tricks back to back to back.
Insane.
I know, right? Because he is insane. He's a scoring madman. That's my deal with it.
It's like I know we call Mr. Walker Zimmerman Thor, but like Haaland is like Thor, if that makes sense.
He's on another level.
He's on a different level. He's like the god.
Oh gosh. But
Okay.
yes. That's our round of 16 quick wrap up on the
Mm-hmm.
rundown. Another sporting news, very quickly. In MLB, the Astros have landed slugger Jose Abreu with a 3-year deal. Uh, he has won the American League MVP in 2020 and is second in baseball with 863 RBIs since his first season in the major leagues in 2014. He hit .304, .378, 3.446 this year with the Chicago White Sox, for whom he had played all 9 of his big league seasons after defecting from Cuba. So I have this down because the Astros, who just won the World Series, just got a solid pickup to their lineup. Alondra, what do you know about baseball?
Uh, I watched the playoffs and I stopped watching after the Dodgers lost. So,
Same, bro.
that,
But yeah,
you're
I just wanted to point that out because I feel like that was a really good pickup on them, by them, I should say. Because yeah, I was like, hasn't Abreu played for the White Sox like forever? And yeah, 2014, like gosh, like talk about leaving where you started, you know. But hey,
mm-hmm.
like how this article that I read, like he defected from Cuba. He's worked hard. He's played really good baseball. I've always thought the White Sox have had decent players, but they're also that's why they're decent players, but they're known for selling their better players. So it is what it is. Um, I just wanted to point that out. Yeah, he's a really good player, and best of luck to him now in Houston. In other news, uh, I think as I say, Regis Prograis dominated in a boxing bout against Jose Cepeda to win the WBC title with an 11th round stoppage win to become 2-time super lightweight world champ. I was able to watch the clip of it, and yeah, he smothered this guy. Never stood a chance. Um, I think what I read was Progress, he kind of had like a slow start, not
Mm-hmm.
as dominant as the article I was reading said, like he kind of had like a slow start, but once he got used to the fight itself, Cepeda didn't want none of that smoke. He did not want none of that smoke, and he paid the price. But yeah, that was a little bit of boxing news, and to go into a quick whip around with the NFL from the games that we went over last week. Quick NFL check in. Uh, our Thanksgiving games that we had. The Bills defeated the Lions 28-25. The Cowboys beat the Giants 28-20, and the Vikings won 33-26 over the Patriots.
Ooh.
Just some other things I like to point out. The Packers lost to the Eagles. Their struggles continue. I think yeah, they're done. What did you have to say about the Packers, Alondra?
My hope has died. We'll just leave it at
Yeah,
that.
I think you're a low key cheesehead. Is that what it is? Are
Would you
you a low
just
key cheesehead? Are,
see? You can't make these comments to somebody who's like barely being introduced to the sport. I know you're making fun of me, but like it
uh,
doesn't hit the same because that
You're like, what the cheese said? You'll find out soon enough. You'll find out what she says later. Look it up. The internets, the Googles.
I think it's probably shaped like your head more though.
No. I'm not cheesehead. The Niners goose egg the Saints, I believe 13-0. Ouch. And the Browns came back to win against the Bucks. Hey, you never should doubt a team running it with 2 minutes left in the game. And that's what the Browns did and set them up to help win the game. But yeah, I don't know, Alondra. It's been a long episode. Is there anything you would like to say to the people out there very quickly?
Please pray for the U.S. We need that win. Pray for Christian's Pulisic's recovery so we can have him on Saturday's game. We need him. And then pray, hopefully we get Giovanni in the starting lineup as well. Like, just send good vibes. Let's send some positive vibes to our men's team. They deserve it.
Yes. All good vibes. Pray that we win. But yeah, I think that is it for our show. Thank you for listening to Rambling Runoff. If you're listening on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and also like the video. Also like us on Spotify. Please give us a follow. If you want to hear more from us on the socials, follow us on Twitter at @offrambling or follow us on Instagram at Rambling Runoff. We also do have a TikTok, Rambling Runoff. Alondra, where can they find you on the socials?
You can find me on Instagram as Alondra Abundez and also on Twitter as Alondra Abundez. I rarely tweet, but like I like to see some funny tweets. So like if you have any tweets, send them my way, please. Or some memes, go for it.
Yes, of course. I've been your host, Robert Rios. For Alondra, we say abdu, goodbye. See you guys next time. Peace out.
Bye.